Hi, my name is Jonathan, and this is a 1-hour level 1.5 bowspring practice entitled Torture. And not so much torture in the sense of physically being pushed to the absolute limit to excruciating pain, but practicing with a 1-minute timer. I've done this a few times in classes in the past, and the challenge is to stay in the pose for the entire minute. And by the end of it, it can get pretty hot, sweaty, and feel like torture. So please take a tall seated position in hero's pose and place your fingertips to the ends of your thighs near your knees in dome hands. Push down to lift your armpits and your rib cage higher away from the ground, and lift your chin. You'll often hear a timer. That's just the save by the bell to move on to a new posture. So on an inhale, float your hands, touch your fingertips together in globe hands position. And for this minute, just do some conscious breathing. Not necessarily guided by myself, but your own personal rate. Make your breath even and smooth. At any point, breathing out through your mouth or your nose. If you have the ability to breathe through your ears, you're welcome to do that as well. Make your way into all fours. Lift your arms, lift your hips. If you're using a prop, just remove it off to the side. In all fours, separate your hands as wide as your shoulders, and more specifically, that the center of your wrists line to the outer line of your shoulders. Push your hands down, lift your rib cage up higher, and with your toes pointed back behind you, pull your toes closer to your knees and sit your hips back a little bit towards the heels. Hug the heels towards the midline, pull the hands to the knees, lengthen through the crown of the head. Just allowing a little bit of peacefulness and tranquility before now tucking your toes and lift your knees to hover, bear pose. Push the hands down, lift the rib cage up. 1 minute in this pose might seem like torture. Allow the belly to drop lower, but fill the rib cage higher. Push the knees out, lift your sit bones up into the air. Find a lightness. Even move a little from one hand to the other hand. You don't even have to lift the hand up away from the ground. Lower the right knee down, lift the left leg out to the side, open leg position. Push with the right hand. You can dome the left hand or make a seed with your left hand. Keep the rib cage full, sit back towards your right heel, and pull the left knee forward to sit further back. There's an expression that you truly don't start a pose until you want to come out of the pose. Option the last 15 seconds is to hold the back of your head in left ecstasy. Lower your left hand down, lower your knee down, and go right into the other side. Dome the right hand. Sit your hips back to the left heel. As we go from pose to pose, just notice the times where you transition a little bit slower just to find an extra rest, which is totally fine. But I started to notice there's a lot of wasted time in practice moving from pose to pose. If it was a bit quicker, more efficient, you might get a bit more bang for your buck. And just like the first side, option to then cup the back of your head to finish. Sit back with your hips, pull the left heel towards the right, push the left knee out to the left. Press your head back into your hand, lift your chin. And going right into crouching cat, hand down. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. Bring your chin in line with your wrists. Push your arms straight, fill into your upper back. And it is okay to work the legs a little bit straighter. Just notice if you straighten your legs and then the whole spine starts to shift. So keep the arch in your low back, the fullness in your upper back, the curves, sit bones lifting high, and just work the legs a little bit straighter, a little bit straighter. And we're going to hold this one for 5 minutes. 5 more seconds. Okay, before lowering the knees down, turn both knees to the left. Bring your right hip down. Move the left hand back a little bit and the right hand forward. And then dome the left hand. Seated side twist. It's classified as a level 1.5 practice. There's nothing too extraordinary in terms of inversions or arm balances. Super fast pace. Most postures I'd say are level 1, but just holding for the 1 minute will push you to your edge. I believe the other class that I did like this was called the Strength to Endure. Okay, allowing a little bit of mellowing. Reach the right arm long. Lead with the right ear on your upper arm. Option to keep the whole side of your body lifted. That's a little bit more level 2. Level 1 is rest your side body down. And side bow. Lift the left leg to hover and place your hand to the front of your knee. Push your knee forward to scooch the hips a little bit further back. And press the right knee down and the left knee up to create some tone and engagement in the glutes. We'll stay facing the side, but twisted cat. So left hand down, move the left foot a little bit forward, and then push with both hands. Rise up, and then lean to the right hand a little bit more and dome your left hand. Tilt right ear to right shoulder, lift up through the left side rib cage. Sit the hips back. I don't know if this is the trend globally, but in Victoria, whenever I teach this pose, everyone just lifts their left arm up and moves more to a side chair. So it's just a different pose. So embrace having the left hand down for something to push out against. And the hand could be completely down, flat in bright hands position. Embrace, savor the extra stretch through the left side body. Then lift your left leg up, and with the left leg lifted, slowly step your foot forward into side coil position. Turn the back foot out, rise up, forearm to thigh, right hand to right butt, lift your butt up, bend a little bit deeper into both knees, and then make a fist with your right hand. Push your head into your hand, lengthen, strengthen, reach out. For the next pose, I sometimes like to use a block, so just the bowspring version of half moon. So just preparing it, getting ready. If you need to grab a block, mine's a little bit forward, I'll have to transition. 1 minute in half moon is not easy to do. Place your hand to your hip this time. Again, you can have your hand down on a block or on the floor. Bend the standing leg, and then imagine turning your foot outwards from big toe side to little toe side. So you move the outer thigh further back, then pull the right knee forward like the open leg position, and place your right hand to the front of your knee. Push your knee forward, sit your hips further back. At this point, you might be begging to come out of the pose. 20 more seconds. Dig deep, hold strong. You can do this. Take left ear closer towards left shoulder. Breathe deeply, slow breaths. That'll help you. Just a little bit longer to go. You're doing great. It's not torture. This is fantastic. And then lower the foot down, rise up right away, balancing on the right foot, open leg left. Place hands on both knees, tilt a little bit forward. Push your left knee forward into your hand and use that to send the hips further back. Then keep your left hand as it is. Reach your right arm straight forward in front of you. You're welcome to create a little bit of a pulse up and down. Notice that 60 seconds is about 30 seconds longer than you want to stay in the pose. But I'm kind. There's pauses. There's moments of reprieve in the sequence. And lower your left foot down. Earth position. Separate your feet hip distance apart. Press your big toes down. Turn the arms internally so the eyes of the elbows face each other, and even start to face back behind you a little bit. Broaden through the upper back, tuck the chin in, fill into your upper back, and then from there, with your knees turned in, move the hips further back, lift your chin, begin to externally rotate the arms slightly, stand up tall. Keep a soft bend in your knees, but lift the rib cage high. And then join your hands together. Bend your elbows, place the thumbs to the crown of your head. Lift through the top. And exhale, arc over to the left. Turn the knees in slightly. Move the hips out. Push the knees out, lift your glutes up. Move left ear towards left shoulder. Lift up through the right side rib cage. Inhale, rise back up, and go over to the right side. Elbows forward to broaden through the upper back. Move the hips back and arc over to the right. Holding this position for 1 minute without instruction, it's tough to do. So by all means, come out of the pose slightly and move back in a little deeper. There's some aspects of bowspring where there's pretty vigorous pulsing. I think it's nice sometimes just to do some gentle bending and extending of the legs, rising back up to center and ticking over to the side again. Obviously, you know, it's about 1 hour, the practice. So you're in it for the long haul. Rise up, reach the arms in front of you, weight your right foot and take a little step back into a lunge position. Bow forward, hands to your knees. Move the hips further back as you push the knees forward. Place the hands to the outside of your knees, broaden through your upper back and push your knees outwards into your hands. Lift your chin. Be in a starter block position, like you're ready to race. I've taken this to the extreme where whenever I'm waiting to cross the street, this is the position I take. And when that little beeping guy comes across who says that you can walk, it's safe, I just run. Full force, full speed. Okay, position the hands in globe hands. Bend your elbows out to the side. Broaden through your upper back. And then as you sit back towards your left heel, twist towards the right. Stay upright. Push the right big toe forward. Put more weight back into the left foot, lowering the heel to just hover. So you can begin to taste and feel the mat with your left heel, but not necessarily weight bearing. Option to lift your front heel to hover. Just a little lift. And then lower your foot down, untwist, lift your left foot, bring the top of the foot down, then your knee down, arms in front of you, sweep over to the left mantis position, left hand down, right hand in ecstasy, tilt ear to shoulder all the way down and lift up through the right side rib cage. Widen the right shoulder blade higher, push the right foot forward, sit your hips further back. Push off the left hand, rise up again, reach the arms in front of you, sit back towards your left heel, lift your right foot, bring both feet in line with each other, hands together, crown arms, sit the hips back, tuck the chin in slightly, fill into your upper back. Try not to strain the low back, fill into the upper back, then push the knees out, lift the glutes, and inhale, rise up, lean back. Exhale, sit back down, tilt forward. Inhale up. And exhale, sit. And then reach the arms in front and slowly Lower your forearms down and move the knees back into all forearms position, which is just all fours but on your forearms. You can go forearms parallel with each other, interlaced fingers, or you could even hold on to a block and wrap your hands around the outer edge so the fingers go towards the side opposite the body. And push down with your elbows, lift up through the rib cage. Push your knees energetically out to the side, but pull the heels in. Get the glutes strong and active. And it can help on this open leg version of all forearms to move the right knee a little bit closer to the left knee, just so it makes more of a tripod with your elbows. And then open your left leg out to the side. Flex the foot, but keep the toes curled. And push the right knee energetically to the side. Fill through your upper back. Pause and hold here. The benefit of this position is that it's less strenuous on the wrists. It also keeps you from cheating by just leaning all the way over to the side that you can when your arms are straighter. Extra bonus points. Remember when you used to get bonus points in school? You can lift your left elbow or even lift the hand and cup the back of your head. So only staying on your right elbow at this moment in time. Just 10 more seconds. Hold strong. You're doing great. You're the best. This is the best I've ever seen you practice. Way to go. And going right into the other side. Left elbow and hand down. And switch. Left knee to the middle, right leg out to the side. Sit the hips back, pull the knee forward. Pause. Tuck the chin in a little bit. Fill into the upper back. Flex both feet. Pull the left heel to the right. Push the right knee out to the side. A seemingly simple pose can become increasingly difficult just by staying in the posture. Option to lean enough that you can lift your right hand and hold the back of your head. Hold strong. You got this. Nobody's better than you. Okay, then hand down, elbow down. Again, holding the block, keeping the forearms parallel or interlaced fingers. Lift your knees up for crouching sphinx, hidden dragon. Personally, if I was going to name it, instead of dolphin, I would have called it porpoise, just to keep it in the same family. With the knees slightly bent, tilt the sit bones up into the air. If you bend the knees too much, this is where bending the knees too much can have a detrimental effect to the low back. The low back starts to round. So just bending the knees enough that you can still get the tilt up, but then from there, extending the heels down as you push the big toes down. Just momentarily rising up onto each hand, just for the transition to seated side twist, other side. Knees to the right, left hip down, dome your right hand. Move your left ear towards your left shoulder, and then twist towards the front of your mat. Ground down firmly with the left hip. Push the left knee downwards to move your hips further back. And with the right hand and dome hand, push it down, pull it back to your legs, try to lift the rib cage up a little higher. Then ear to shoulder. Extend your left arm long. Lie onto your arm with your head. Keep your side waist and ribs lifted, and lift the right leg to hover. Push the knee ever so subtly forward into your hand, just enough to create tone. After you've been practicing this practice for a while, the new mantra is soften. Stay engaged, but soften. Don't effort so full. Instead of effortful or effortless, find effort medium. And swing both arms in front. And from there, roll onto your back, wiggle your way to the middle of the mat, keep the arms lifted. Push the arms straight and lower your legs to the right, arms to the left. Keep the hands wide. Only lower the legs about halfway to the floor. Push down through the back of your head. Broaden through your upper back. And then inhale, rise up and go the other way. Legs to left, arms to right. This posture would benefit from having mirrors on the ceiling. Of course, if you actually are practicing with mirrors on your ceiling, my question to you would be, why do you have mirrors on the ceiling? But you'd be able to see the knees can actually track a little bit further towards the foot side of your mat. Push the arms straight, broaden through your upper back. Even momentarily, you can push the head down, lift your rib cage up higher. Okay, and then back to center. Lower your feet down. Take the hands in chin-up bar position and lift your hips up for bridge pose. In bridge, walk the feet in a little closer and then drop the hips down to the point where we'll be specific on this one. The two cheeks softly touch down. The cheeks, but nothing else. So the cheeks touch, but there's no weight put on them. And then as if you're holding a chin-up bar, pull the rib cage towards the head side of your mat. Keep the hips heavy, but hovering, hovering. And then lower your hips all the way down. Lift your feet to the height of your knees. And then one by one, tap your toes down. To add to this, when your toes touch down, gently pull them back towards your hips. You can also start to create more of a scissoring action, where it's a bicycle, pedal of the legs, and then a little more demanding is to do both legs simultaneously. And then feet down, roll to one side, and make your way up into all fours. We'll go quick on this one. In all fours, lift your left leg back behind you, knee bent in a square leg position. Pull the right toes forward, and then just tap your knee down and take the leg back up. That's all it is. Just going down and up, down and up, down and up, down and up and down and up and down and up and down and nope, now I'm just going too fast. Wouldn't it be great if 80s aerobics came back? We could call it Bow-robics. Okay, then lower your knee down. Get about a 5-second reprieve on the one side, and then right leg up and back and down and up and down and up and down and up and down and up. Continue that, down and up. Keep pushing through your hands, fill through your upper back. Sit the hips a little bit further back than the left knee. Moving to twisted cat right, tuck your toes under, lift your knees, crouching cat, then turn the feet to the right. I usually can drop the right heel, but the left heel just stays a little bit hovering. And then either seed your right hand, you could keep it in right hand and just push out, or dome hand, tilt left ear to left shoulder and create a little bit of a pulse sitting back. And then moving forward, sitting back, moving forward, back and forward. Okay, then lift your foot up and then step your foot forward, side coil position with the right foot forward, right forearm to your thigh, left hand to your butt. Oh, I just had a big drop of sweat come from the brow. Turn the back knee in, pull the butt up, sit down a little bit lower, both knees, seed your right hand so your arm gets stronger, strong as my arm there. And then hold the back of your head, left hand. Push your head into your hand. Move the crown of your head forward. Move your elbow forward. Sit back on an exhale. Inhale and move forward. Sit back and move forward. Sit back and move forward. Remembering the next pose. The next pose is the hardest one to hold for a minute, but we might do side chair. Now, push off the foot. Again, block, no block. I go highest setting just to bring the floor a little bit closer. Maybe it's long legs. Bend the standing leg a little bit. Turn the leg outward. So move the outer thigh back. Turn the foot from big toe side to little toe side. Sit your hips back. You're welcome to always put a hand to the left knee and push the knee forward. Tilt right ear to right shoulder, and you're like, oh, we're almost done. 25 more seconds to go, and there's no rest. It's not earth position next. It's going to be open leg balancing on the left, so going right up into it, but there's still 15 more seconds. You can do it. Count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your foot. Lift your right leg, open leg position. Both hands to your knees, tilt forward. Push your knees into your hands. Move the hips further back. Even move the right knee in a little bit so you can broaden the right sit bone out to the side. And as you push the knees forward, fill and broaden through your upper back. Lift your chin. Pulse a little bit up and down. And you're welcome to extend the left arm forward in front of you. Hand and seat, pull down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sit down and back. Again, pull down, lift up. Exhale, sit down and back. And again. Then lower your right foot, cup the back of your head, both hands, and arc over to the left. Crescent position, already did this one, so option this time. First, just put your left hand to your left knee, tilt ear to shoulder, lift up through the right side rib cage, and move the hips further and further back. Stage 1 is this one, hand to knee. Stage 2, hold on to the outside of the elbow. Gently pull the elbow down, move the hips back, push your elbow into your hand, and then begin to spin. So both a twist and a lift up to the upper right corner of your room. If you're doing this outside, you're on a veranda, patio, balcony, the upper right sky. Rise up, cup the back of your head left, right hand to your knee, tilt ear to shoulder, lift up through the left side rib cage. Move your knees in, send your hips further back. An option to hold the elbow, pull the elbow down, push the elbow up into the hand and start to spin. Keep the hips back, push the elbow high, press your head back into your hands, reach up tall, lift up. And pose we already did before with the left leg back. Step your right foot back as if you're preparing to cross the street. Here in Victoria, we have these crosswalk signals that some will count down. And when they count down from like 5 to 1, then the light goes red and then you can walk. But sometimes they can't count down to 0 and then nothing happens for like 20 more seconds. You actually are in the state where you're ready to go. And I'm not sure why. Some do and some don't. Some go to 0 and then it's go time. And others go to 0 and then you just wait. You're ready. Gonna move. What's gonna happen? Are we gonna change it? It's gonna be the pose last time. It'll be the pose last time. So globe hands position, sitting the hips back, just staying in that crouched lunge. 1 minute, that's a long time, and then adding a twist adds to the demand. So push the left big toe forward, work the front leg a little bit straighter as you move your hips back and lower the right heel. It might even come down to touch the floor. It's not necessarily weight bearing. And if you do get the heel down, it can give you a little bit of a stretch through the back of the calf. Tilt right ear to right shoulder. Find a little bit of a pulse. An option to lift the front heel just for the final 10 seconds. You're like, 10 more seconds, are you kidding me? Okay, now front heel down, lift the back foot, point your toes, top of the foot down, knee down, arc to the right, right hand down, left hand behind the head, hug the elbow in, push the left foot forward, sit your hips further back, lift up through the left side rib cage. Mantis position. Okay, we did camel the first time around. Push off the right hand, rise back up. Step the left foot back in line with the right foot. This time, instead of camel, twisted camel. So arc to the left, lean back, and then see if you can get hold of your heel with your left hand, supporting the head with the right hand. Hug the elbow in, sit your hips back, and then tilt, lean back, lift your elbow. This is maybe the only pose where we'll switch the sides at the halfway mark. So come back up and go the other direction. If you could circle to the other side through the middle, you're welcome to give that one a try. I'm content where I am. Sometimes breathing deeply is nice. Rise up again, lower your elbows down, and then slide your right shin forward, left knee to your right ankle. Falcon position. Lift the back foot, flex the foot, but pull the heel in. Push your knees out to the sides energetically, get your glutes strong. Push your elbows down and pull the rib cage forward. And two choices, well, actually three choices for your next minute. Just stay as you are, or you can test it in a full balance, both hands, globe hands, or keep your left hand down. This is the one I like to do, and reach back with your right hand. Grab the big toe side of your foot and pull the heel in as you twist to the right. Okay, and Falcon to the other side. I just switch through all forearms. Lifting the back foot, lifting it high enough to be more at the base of the right thigh bone as opposed to the kneecap. Push the knees out to the sides. Move your hips back, especially the left hip. Tack it back. Pull your elbows down and back to your legs. And move the rib cage forward. Stay balanced with your hands in globe, or you could even go to ecstasy, maybe level 3. You could hold your foot behind your head with both hands, or just reach back with left hand, grab hold of right foot, pull the foot in, sit your hips back. And close the eyes. Savor the experience. You can always clean up the drool after practice. Okay, one of the more challenging positions. Left hand down and move back into side chair. So feet together, both feet to the right. Bend your knees so the bottoms of your feet come down, and then hold the back of your head, right hand. I took a peek, 45 more seconds. So I'm at this point in the practice, this is pretty challenging to hold for 1 minute total. By all means, if you want to pulse vigorously, lift a leg up into the air, lift both legs up in the air. You're always welcome, but just know your limits, because it doesn't end. 10 more seconds. Well, it does end. Now it's 5 seconds. And then immediately go into the other side. Right hand down. Turn your feet to the left. Bend your knees. Hold the back of your head, left hand right ear to shoulder. Lift up through the left side rib cage. Again, any variation you'd like. You could do a figure 4 cross, lift the right leg or left leg up. You could hold onto the foot, hold onto the back of the thigh. Do more of a dancer's position with the left hand and foot. Last 5 seconds. And we'll gracefully roll onto the back. So left hand down, right hip down, right arm long. And then from there, swing the arms in front of you, roll onto your back, rolling onto the back, bend the knees, feet flat, lift your hips, grab your butt and pull it up towards the shoulders. And up's a relative term, it's almost more forward towards your head. Then crisscross the arms, lean to the left until your right shoulder blade lifts, push your right arm straighter, broaden through the right shoulder blade, and then go the other direction. Lean to the right, push the left arm straighter, broaden that arm, that shoulder blade, and then return back to center. This will be one of the most simple of the 1 minutes. Then hold here. Eventually go thigh root, right leg, hold the back of your thigh, flex your foot, curl your toes, and push your leg straighter to the sky. And switch to left leg. And keep the back of the pelvis heavy, low back lifted. Oftentimes I'll interlace the fingers like zipper hands or interlocked hands and push the hands away from each other. Broaden, widen the elbows to the sides. Push your head down. Work your left leg straight. Turn. Okay, then bend your left knee across your ankle over the thigh, and you could just stay here in chin-up bar position for cross ankle on your back, or I like to go into thread the needle often. Just doing my best to still push the right leg into the hands so that the back of the pelvis is heavy and the low back is slightly lifted away from the floor. Switch to the other side. Right over left. Sometimes bowspring practices can be pretty vigorous and fast moving. Although some of the holds might have felt a little bit like torture, now take a moment to just savor cooling down, slowing down, allowing the perspiration to evaporate. And release the leg. Move your hips to the right and drop both knees to the left for a twist. I like to take the right hand into a chin-up bar position. Keep the elbow pointed up. Press your head downward into the floor. And then rise back up. Shift your hips to the left. Hold on to the left knee with your right hand, left arm in one-armed chin-up bar position. And lift your knees back up. Shift your hips so they're in line with your shoulders. Lift your feet and cup your knees with the palms of your hands for freedom pose. Allow your arms to straighten by pulling your knees towards the foot side of your mat. Let your feet dangle. Press your head back. Soften your jaw. Breathe through your mouth. And move your head a little from side to side. And then slide your legs long for assimilation. The first minute will be just to rest. Let go of any tension. Allow your body to be heavy. And only 2 minutes in assimilation. The second minute, when the timer goes, fairly simple, just count the number of inhales and exhales you take in 1 minute. Begin. Slowly awaken your body. Move your head from side to side. And stretch the arms overhead. Reach. Then bend your knees and roll to one side. And then push down. Make your way back up into hero's position or just sitting on your heels. Fingers to your thighs. Lift your ribs, lift your chin. Float your arms. Bring your hands together, globe hands. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth and exhale it out. And fold your hands together. Place the thumbs to the crown of the head. Namaste.